thank you everybody for tuning back into the sessions over here. I am joined once again by Anton Bukov. Thank you so much for coming back and joining us again. Thank you, we appreciate you doing the panel earlier. And now it sounds like you're gonna get pretty technical with us and lead us on this workshop. So I'm not gonna take much more of your time. I think we're gonna need the whole time. So I'll pass it over to you. Thank you so much again for joining us 2 times today.
Yeah, thank you. For those who did not saw the panel, I'm Anton Bukov, co-founder and CTO of 1inch Exchange. 1inch Exchange is an DEX aggregator which made possible to aggregate all the DEXs, on-chain DEXs, liquidity, and also off-chain DEXs into a single huge DEX with super small slippage. Today, I'm here to talk about sharded smart contracts, and I prepared slides for this. It's a description of idea how software developers, smart contract developers, blockchain developers should prepare their software for sharded blockchains. So the thing is that currently, when a lot of people interact with some smart contract, for example, any token smart contract, every user interacts with single entity, single smart contract, and right now the most bottleneck is blockchain because it's not parallel, it's like slow, it can't produce huge number of transactions per second. So but that's not only the issue of this software architecture. If we would have sharded blockchain, not if, but when we will have sharded blockchain at some point, we will have the same picture, the same people, the same users will interact with the same smart contract. So if we will just put our smart contracts into sharded, they will have like a little bit more room for every smart contract, but in some, the smart contract itself will become a bottleneck because single shard will not be able to produce, will not be able to scale and produce like huge amount of transactions. Every shard is like a single non-sharded blockchain. So we can't like keep our software as it is to achieve a real scaling. If you want to make like global payment currency, global payment stablecoin, you can do it this way because you will have like few hundreds transactions per second, or even maybe a few thousands transactions per second. But what we need in a couple of years is massive scaling of software. We need like millions transactions per second, possibly. And the same happened when then we saw multi-core CPUs. Some developers thought that their software would scale automatically, but this never happened, as you know. So developers started to use different libraries, different primitives, different programming languages to achieve scaling among different threads, among different cores, among some different primitives which can do some SIMD instructions as IMD instructions. And what we should do to solve this bottleneck is to write our smart contracts to support like sharded architecture. And what we can like came up to, we can have like a distribution of single smart contract on different shards and make different users to work with different shards. So some users will interact with one shard, some users will interact with different shards. That's how it usually is solved by different systems like databases. They do group their users onto different clusters and manage it this way, not users, but like records. And what we also need, that we could see that some accounts interact with smart contracts, and also our smart contracts of single family, smart contract family interact with each other. And we could see that two external APIs of each smart contract. One is public for external users, accounts, other smart contracts, and one internal API for the smart contracts of the same family. For example, family of a smart contract of some token. And how could we do authorization of internal calls when some smart contract on one shard is talking to another smart contract on another shard, and they belong to the same family? It's like single token, but two smart contracts on different shards. How can they prove each other that they belong to a single like logic, to a single family, single smart contract family? So like step back, how exactly now tokens work? It's like I'm going to show token example for you. So right now, smart contract holds all the balances of all the accounts like users or accounts like another smart contracts. And when some of these accounts tries to transfer some amount of this token, it decreases amount of the sender and increases amount of receiver, and also checks that it will not underflow and will not overflow. It's like safe mathematics. So it's pretty simple, but the idea I would like to propose is to have token extension smart contract for each user, where every owner of the balance will have separate smart contract with with balance in storage. So I will have my personal token extension of this token. You will have separate token extension of this token, and these smart contracts will be like ownable. So I own my extension, you own your extension, and when I transfer my balance, it will be reduced, and we will have, like, for example, method received, which will increase balance. But we have to make sure that received method couldn't be called by anyone, by attacker, by any user. We have to make sure that received method could be called only by transfer method of the same token family, or like token extension of the same token. And how can we handle this extension of and only extension? So in transfer, when balance decreased, extension of receiver receives method received. Yeah, so that's how it works. But how we can do this verification and computation of extensions? Usually this could mean that we should go to some centralized registry and get some address for some user, extension address for the user. But we wish to avoid any centralized point of access, even if it's registry and view calls. We wish to avoid this to make it really scalable. So it also could be done in non-interactive way. So if some base token smart contract produce extensions with create tool-like functionality, this means we could have deterministic extension address by user address. So if some user want to have extension, we can pre-calculate its extension address, and it will be fully deterministic. So if you have some wallet address, you can compute your extension address of this token for this account. And this would allow us to check this internal calls, check this in non-interactive manner. This means that our extensions of the same smart contract will be able to interact into peer-to-peer manner. This means that they do not access any centralized smart contract in the middle, which is like registry of all these addresses. So if some people send this token to each other, their extensions interact in a fully peer-to-peer manner. This means that they could be located on different shards. That's not a problem. And the core idea is to have like the same transaction capacity as all sharded blockchain have. We are not limited to single shard transaction capacity, because our smart contracts belongs to different shards and they interact with each other in a peer-to-peer manner. If you, like, some of you worry about about overhead, that is not it like too huge to have a separate token extension for every token for every user. It's not too much, because source code is absolutely the same, like all this binary compiled smart contract is absolutely the same, and it could be optimized on layer 1 layer, on blockchain layer, to not store the same smart contracts, and like it should be optimized for sure. So from storage perspective, it's also interesting, because users can have accounts which have like possibly aggregated extensions of that user, and this potentially could solve storage issue when we have to charge users for storage. Possibly we can charge them for their own extensions, because this extensions holds data for them, for these users. Yeah, so the whole idea is to have smart contracts extensions per user, which will interact in a peer-to-peer manner without interaction with any centralized registry, because they can do authorization of intercalls between them, but in non-interactive manner, by just pre-computing a hash. Yeah, so as I said, I believe that our architecture of our smart contracts should be changed when we will see sharded DEXs, because we will not achieve any meaningful scalability with our like old approach of single sharded smart contracts. Yeah, so if you have some questions, I'm welcome. I believe I have 15 more minutes for this. So all the concept is pretty easy, but that's the strongest part, because it's easy to understand, easy to develop, and that's why I like believe in it. Yeah, I see some questions. Yeah, we should all have sharded smart contracts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure not every smart contract could be sharded, but some of them could, like tokens could be sharded. Some DEXs could be sharded. I'm not sure about AMMs, because they behave as a single account. Possibly they could not be sharded, but like we will have like a lot of different protocols, a lot of different AMMs, and we can utilize them all by aggregation. Similarity, a question about similarity between sharded smart contracts and Lightning Network channel. I'm not sure it's similar, because Lightning Network is a off-chain solution for peer-to-peer communication. It's only for two peers. And Lightning Network also have like more than two peers by just having peer-to-peer communication on each step. But I'm talking on fully on-chain communication between smart contracts, and like if we will have a smart contract of like global payment stable token, it's not enough to have this smart contract on single shard, because its transaction capacity will be limited to a few hundred transactions per second, possibly 1,000 transactions per second, and it will never be enough. We should build our smart contracts in that manner that they will actually scale. It's the same concept as we have, like everyone is building powerful software for multi-core CPUs. And if you will not scale your software, no one will help you. Yeah, I'm 1-inch guy. Questions about holders of Chainlink. I'm not sure it's related. Yeah, I will share slides. I will ask organizers to attach them in PDF to this talk. Yeah, I also have a sharded token example under this QR code. You can find it, and it have not only balances but also approvals, and it also have minting functionality, but it works just on Ganache. It's like simulation of single sharded blockchain, but it works in a way it could work on sharded blockchain. I'm gonna try it on some sharded blockchain later, but it should work because it's like designed to work like this. I see some question about ERC 1820, but I'm not sure I'm familiar with it, or maybe I'm not like remembering it right now. What's upcoming features of sharding make you most exciting for the future of the space? When I like thought a lot about sharding, I came up to idea that our software will not be as sharded as most people expect. So that's why I like thought a lot about this and came up to this idea. Most of the approaches which are like right now exist for sharded smart contracts involves having multiple people, multiple accounts in single smart contract. It's like sharding on like 3-5 smart contracts and distribute users' accounts among them. But I do not believe in it because it makes us to build a more complex software. I believe I propose it much simpler solution, and it will not have some kind of overheads. They're not so huge because they could be easily solved on a blockchain layer. Hot on formal verification for smart contracts. It seems like switching language to something like FV, build and would huge classes of possible bugs. Yeah, it's possible, but I'm not sure we could solve everything with formal verification. Formal verification could only solve those issues which you like describe it in formal language. So if you did not solve some possible issues, your formal verification will not solve it for you. So it happens previously. Some formally verified smart contracts had problems with composability because they used different smart contracts like tokens, and some tokens did some strange things which they were not like checked, and this was resolved into like some kind of hack. Do you trust proof of stake as a scaling solution, or do you think sharding and rollups could be? It's not about consensus, so it's not like is it proof of stake or proof of work. It's not like related to sharding versus non-sharding, because sharding and non-sharding is what happens inside blockchain, but proof of stake, proof of work, rollups, it's what's happening outside of the blockchain, outside of blockchain programs. So I believe that developers of all these protocols should try in all the directions, and users and developers of in-blockchain applications will see which approach is better, which works better, which is more suitable for some concrete cases. It's possible that we'll have sharded blockchains on layer 1 and possibly some sharding with rollups on layer 2 solutions on non-sharded blockchains. It's possible. Is this applicable before S2 launch? It's applicable because like there are some sharded blockchains right now. I'm not sure they have more than one shard right now. For sure, like near blockchain, it's designed to be sharded, but possibly launch it with a single shard right now. I have to check this. And yeah, it's like common approach, which is not like related to single blockchain. It's not like ETH2 only. It could be launched on any sharded blockchain. It should have only create two like functionality, where address of smart contract could be deterministic. How would DEX aggregators like 1inch work with DEXs that are on different shards? Yeah, this is like a question about lack of composability, lack of atomicity of different smart contracts. Right now, any aggregator works like this. It produces a lot of changes on different DEXs and then checks the result. But if result is not enough, it reverts whole the transaction. This behavior will not be possible, absolutely, in sharded blockchain, in sharded environment, because we will have like non-atomic execution. If your smart contract sends something to a different smart contract, it can't be reverted anymore. But if you grab something from different smart contract, like grab some value with transfer from, you can transfer it back for sure. So there are like two kind of operations, like giving and getting something. If you got something, you can give it back. But if you gave something, you can't get it back by just reverting. So possibly aggregators will swap on all the possible sources. And if a contract swap is not enough, this swap could be reverted. I mean, you could pass additional arguments with this, like min return, and if it's not enough, it will be returned. So at the end, you will get some of your sub transactions failed, and you will have like something like partial fill, possibly. Where did name of 1inch exchange originate from? It's from 1inch punch of Bruce Lee. You have to Google it. I'm not sure about Microsoft naming story. I'm not sure. I have to check it first. So we do the same. It's like it's 1inch punch on blockchain with one single transaction. Yeah, let the market decide what L1 they trust. Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure we will see a lot of layer one solutions which are gonna have bridges to Ethereum, because Ethereum right now is mostly on DeFi is mostly on Ethereum right now, but also some different layer one solutions also have small DeFis. And it's possible that DeFi will expand to different blockchains, and we will see a network of blockchains and bridges between them. Some bridges will be like permissionless, decentralized. Some will be like a multi-sig bridges, and possibly we will see like DeFi is growing among the blockchain. This would be cool to see, but I'm not sure how fast this would would become. I'm not sure. I can't know this. Oracle's roles. Yeah, you know, it's definitely possible to build decentralized bridges for some blockchains, like Near did, and I like started it when worked for Near. Near have a Rainbow Bridge, Near Ethereum Bridge, which works in a permissionless and decentralized manner. Both blockchains have smart contracts, which are mutual light clients of each other. So Ethereum smart contract is like light client of Near, and Near smart contract is light client of Ethereum. And light client is taking care of non-trusting but verifying all the data. And it's possible to build two smart contracts on different chains and establish reliable communication between them over this bridge. You will have to pass some transaction or incentivize someone to do this, but it's definitely possible. So I see like first some tokens could be bridged by arbitrary users can bridge their tokens by using these bridges. And then when some tokens from Ethereum will be bridged to some another blockchain, some DEXs could appear, and then other protocols could appear, and that's how DeFi could expand. About gas fees on Ethereum, they're pretty high because, you know, the number of users who could interact with Ethereum is limited to possibly tens of thousands a day. And if more people try to use it, what happens that we will have the same number of people who interact with it, but this will be those people who are able to pay more for their transactions. So that said, for sure, possibly we could ask miners to increase gas price again, because according to Moore's law, it should be 17 millions of gas in block right now since launch. It should be doubled every 4 years. So we could ask them. It's less than 17 millions right now. It's 12.5 millions, as I remember. So, but it will increase transaction capacity by almost 50% less, 40% possibly. So possibly this would help a bit, but yeah, and possibly Ethereum improvement proposal number 1559 by Vitalik Buterin, as I remember, about different kind of setting fees for transactions, setting gas price in a different manner. Possibly this could solve if we would implicitly set gas prices instead of explicitly. Possibly this would help to reduce gas prices, because I've read some software who decides for the people how much gas price to pay is ruling this gas growth. So possibly if most software will be more optimistic about gas prices, they will set like lower gas prices, and we will see gas price some reducing, possibly. I'm not sure about this. What would happen during the fork of this with the smart contracts? I think we will have all the people will have the same balances. It will be like the same what happens with any blockchain when it's forked. Everyone and every software will be the same. Some software will stop work because like Ethereum right now have chain ID instruction, which allows to understand on which fork it is executed. And some smart contracts could stop working on forks because forks have to change this chain ID. And right now I see that permit functionality of ERC20 tokens utilize this chain ID instruction to protect from replay attack.
Awesome. I think we're running out of time here, Anton, but thank you so much. There's a ton of questions in there. Is that your Twitter handle that was just up there? So everybody, if they have any other questions, they can get you there.
Yes, thank you. Thank everyone for the questions. Yeah, so
thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.